Thank you so much for joining tonight's event. Our event will be starting soon, so please be seated. Welcome everyone to this evening's event. We are very glad to collaborate with Finnish Consulates and Finnish Chamber of Commerce for tonight's event, Talent Acquisition in the Digital Era, Challenges and Solutions Seminar. This is a hybrid event. We have our online audience joining on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as some audience in person. And without further ado, may I now introduce our Executive Director of Asia Society Hong Kong, ask Alice Mon to do the opening remarks. Alice, please.
Thank you, Ching. Thank you all for being here tonight. This is second night in a row. I'm in this position to welcome everyone, and I'm looking forward to staying and hear from our wonderful panelists about this topic, talent acquisition in digital era. And as Executive Director of Asia Society Hong Kong, we're always delighted to collaborate with the Finnish consulate. Thank you, Joanna, and I'm going to invite Joanna, Consul General, to speak after I finish. But again, thank you all for being here. And this is a topic that is very close and dear to my heart because this is our 10th anniversary. We'll be celebrating officially 10th anniversary of the Asia Society Hong Kong in this facility. We've been around since 1990, but in this new home since 2012. And I have to say, one of the biggest challenge as we have seen ourselves grow from a staff of about 20 10 years ago when I joined to now about 40, one of the challenges for me is really retaining staff. I'm very proud that our staff, once we train them, they go on to bigger and better things, whether it's at M+, West Kowloon, Daegun, PMQ, or Art Basel. We have this reputation of being able to train staff and send them on to greener pastures. But so in this time of a COVID, what do you do about retaining good staff and also keep them motivated and so on? So I'm really delighted that we have this distinguished panel to talk about this. In Hong Kong, this is my second stint back in Hong Kong. I arrived in Hong Kong in 1992 as a young executive, and what was supposed to be a 3 to 5 year assignment ended up being 11 years. And Hong Kong is one of those places that I feel right at home the minute I arrived. And then I had a stint in 10 years working in New York in the nonprofit sector. And when 10 years ago I had an opportunity to come back to Hong Kong, I said yes. And so people like me, as a Chinese American and working in the beautiful city of New York, it is still Hong Kong that I now call home. And so I think this is a question I think this panel is going to be talking about. How in this time of not just COVID, I think COVID has just fast-tracked a lot of things that was already in discussion on where to work. Where is home, and what is the balance between work and life? And I think this last 2 years, we've had a lot of time to think about that, haven't we? I just think about a year ago, we were kind of locked down here in Hong Kong, and we were closed. Actually, we were closed quite a bit for about a third of the time last year. And so now to be able to open and do a hybrid program like this, we see ourselves as very fortunate. Whereas in Asia Society in New York, they have been closed. Come January, it will be 2 years, and our colleagues have been operating from various parts of the United States, and we are still getting work done, sometimes more efficiently than others. So I think this is something that even nonprofits, and a global nonprofit like Asia Society, we are kind of looking at this issue almost on a daily basis. So I know we're going to come back with a lot of interesting discussion points and about the role of cities like Hong Kong and also countries like Finland. I'm very eager to hear about, in fact, when Joanna was talking about the 90 Days of Fin program, I'm hoping that maybe I qualify. Wouldn't it be fun, interesting, to be able to kind of go to a country and enjoy that experiences for 90 days? So I think these are all things that we here, Asia Society, here in Hong Kong, and other parts of the world are looking at. And so I'm really delighted that we have also people online joining us for tonight's discussion. And I know they can send their question in. And with that, I'm just going to stop and really introduce our partner for tonight's program and invite Consul General of Finland in Hong Kong and Macau, Johanna Kranko, to come and say a few words. And I want to, again, thank the consulate for their collaboration. It's been a wonderful delight, this yesterday's program and tonight's program, and I know there's going to be more to come. And so, Johanna?
Thank you, Alice. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to warmly welcome you to this seminar, and I hope this will be as interesting to you as it will be to me. And I think, Alice, we more or less, you said many of the things that I was going to say, but nevertheless, it looks like, in Finland, in Hong Kong alike, there's an ongoing active discussion of the need for talent. In Hong Kong, it seems that the challenges that many others like Finland have been foreseeing or facing already for some years have only emerged into the limelight since the latest changes in the political environment and the pandemic restrictions. Both Finland and Hong Kong have aging populations, and the demographic changes will, despite technological advances, require rethinking and adaptation of our economies, as well as a strengthened focus on talent creation and acquisition. Moreover, Finland and Hong Kong are not alone facing these demographic challenges. Then recently, the pandemic has accelerated the change in how many view their lives. Remote work has become commonplace, which has led to new realizations about location. The pandemic has also increased the value of a job with a purpose, as well as a safe, healthy, and sustainable living environment. Many are re-evaluating their lives and on the lookout for new opportunities and flexible options, including as self-employed or entrepreneurs. And this shift offers possibilities for countries like Finland in talent acquisition, and we'll soon hear more about the options available. Personal needs and wants need to, however, be balanced with the company or the employer's needs for sustainable growth. This requires reinventing the wheel, innovating, which cannot be done entirely virtually, in a virtual mode, which we've been now experiencing in many parts of the world for quite some time. Yesterday, we hosted the seminar on innovation here. And one of the main takeaways from that seminar was the recipe for innovation: funding, talent, and partners, and the interaction between these three. And I wanted to bring this to this seminar because yesterday, when everybody in that panel were talking about innovation, one of the key questions was talent. So I think actually we didn't do this on purpose, but it was quite interesting that the talent question is really central. Talent acquisition in the digital era requires the right policies from governments, flexibility from employers, and the right kinds of leadership skills from management. Talent policies can contribute to an economically, environmentally, and societally sustainable future. This seminar will highlight what the Finnish government, regions, and municipalities, as well as companies, are doing to attract the right kind of talent, including with innovative new initiatives such as the 90 Days of Finn to lure talent from abroad. Following the two presentations, there will be a panel of talent from Finland and from Hong Kong, which will share their insights and real-life experiences from cross-border movement of talent. What attracts talent? What experiences and skills it offers for individuals and their employers and the societies they live in. Finally, I would like to thank the ASHK Society for hosting this seminar, as well as the Finnish Chamber of Commerce for partnering with us again on this seminar series, as well as the speakers and panelists for agreeing to share their insights on this theme. I look forward to a thought-provoking exchange. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alice and Johanna. During the pandemic, it has allowed many people to rethink the future and to embrace remote and hybrid modes of work. For instance, the new work approach also poses challenges these days. But Hong Kong and Finland are focusing on talent acquisition in order to build back better and greener. To attract talents, there is a need to remain globally attractive, increase the ease of immigration and travel, as well as invest in innovation and technology. So we are very glad today to have Min Lam, Service Manager of Talent Business Finland, to deliver the keynote speech. Min Lam encourages Finnish companies to recruit international talents and shares information about the working opportunities in Finland and Hong Kong. He has helped 130 Finnish companies to the Silicon Valley and to China. Between 2016 and 2018, he has also led a joint program of Business Finland and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland with a budget of 50 million euros. Prior to joining Business Finland, he worked for Finnish software and telecom companies in the Middle East, France, China, Singapore, and Thailand. So we are very glad to have Min Lam to join us virtually via Zoom. May I invite Min to join, please? Thank you.
Yes. Do you hear me now? Okay, I assume that actually that you hear me well, and my presentation is also shown to you. I would like to thank the opportunity to talk to you about for the invitation first, to come to you and talk a little bit about what we do in Finland. Myself, I'm based in Finland. In fact, I grew up in Finland, and in what comes to Hong Kong, I have worked also sometimes in some companies, but also in the embassy. So I'm very glad to talk about the link between Finland and Hong Kong and the opportunities what Business Finland and Finland in general may have to offer to the experts in Hong Kong. So my presentation today is divided into three parts. First, I will talk a little bit about what we do as a Business Finland, and I go to the opportunities for foreign experts, entrepreneurs as well. And thirdly, the startup permit, which we in Finland we launched it actually last year. So our mission of Business Finland is to catalyze new growth through innovation and international collaborations. We pretty much do funding, but also we collaborate with different partners, different countries, different chamber of commerce, and in order to have mutual benefits for both sides. And addition to the companies and businesses, we also try to make Finland as an attractive destination for international travel, investments, and talent. And the talents is actually what I'm working in right now in our division, Talent Boost. I would like to just show you a little bit what about our operations and businesses of Business Finland around the world. We have more than 40 offices in pretty much in all continents. And also in Finland, we have very extended networks in Finland, together with 16 different regional offices. In Hong Kong, we do have also colleagues and greater China areas as well. Just to talk about, I think in the beginning it was mentioned that the importance of the work and sort of work and life balance. Just want to show to you that Finland has been actually ranked in several years as a happiest country, because just mainly actually due to this factor that in Finland there's a great balance between work and personal life. Education in Finland is also ranked the best in many surveys, but not only best, but this is also free. We have generated many unicorns and essentially known companies, Supercell, which actually do the gaming called Clash of Clans, and Rovio, Angry Birds. You might have known about it. And recently, we also have had other successful entrepreneurs and companies such as Volt, which was acquired by 7 billion euros by DoorDash. And we have a very solid sort of innovation fostering system and many other things. So this is some of the details about in general information about Finland. You see that actually on the right there's the slush event, the startup event, and it just so happened so that it's just started today and tomorrow, and this is one of the biggest sort of startup event first in I would say in the world. Even they have attracted 20 something companies annually, and this year due to the situation, it has a little bit scaled down, but they have managed to attract a lot of businesses and investors as well. I would like to talk a little about also the startup scheme and what it makes it special. We have the culture here in Finland that we are a small country, but we foster different type of startups. The government, but also local players, agencies, investors, they support very much the startup mentality. And I mentioned earlier that the education is free, and it's very good in Finland. And then thirdly, the public sector, we sponsor and share risk with entrepreneurs as well. Just to show it to you a little bit what we have, just to show what happened in the last, let's say, 10-15 years, that the role of the startups has gone very up, and we have generated a lot of businesses, a lot of work, a lot of employment through startups. And it's
Sorry
also
to interrupt me.
Yeah.
I think, are you sharing a slide? Because we aren't able to see. I think
Oh.
maybe it's not shared yet. So we aren't
Really?
able to see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, sorry, apologies to interrupt. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for that.
Maybe if you
I have.
if the slide is shared, then we can see whether we can see it on our side.
Okay.
Yeah, I think now we can see it. Yes.
I'm
Thank
very
you so
sorry
much.
for that.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry for this. Actually, I thought you have been able to see in my presentation. Sorry for that. So yeah, I was I was talking about the investment and startup. As you see on the screen, that the startup has acquired a lot of investments, and they have done very well in recent years. In addition to this, Business Finland as an agency, we foster new companies by giving grants, for the startup companies. And as you see, we have for the startup companies, we fund up to 75% in the early stage, up maximum 50,000 euros. And in addition to that, we are able to sponsor research and development, innovation research, and also we have the funding for new and innovative companies up to 1 million euros. So this just to let you know that there's a lot of mechanisms which we could support. And I was asked actually to show and talk a little bit about the job opportunities in Finland. We have launched the website at Jobs in Finland, and we have collected different jobs and positions in this website. So any foreign talents and experts could have a look at this by going this, and then you could click on whether you academic or ICT or engineering businesses, and you will see opening positions, and those are listed by actually Business Finland, and we are able to help with possible the work permits and such. The last part of my presentation is the residence permit and what different kind of permits are there. We have startup entrepreneur permit, entrepreneur researcher, and employment specialist and student permit. It depends on what you are actually applying to. And but next I would concentrate and talk about the startup entrepreneur visas and permits. This is a launch just a year and a half ago, together with by Business Finland and our Finnish Immigration Service. The permit could be applied for maximum 2 years, and there's a possibility for the extension. Also, the spouse and children can apply, and also especially I mean, of course, this is for the outside EU citizens. So there are a couple of links which you could have a look, and the process, it goes so that actually we have tried to streamline and make it so easy for the applicants that once you have submitted the application, normally the sort of evaluation time is something like 2 weeks, and it's free of charge. This determines, so it's done by Business Finland, our colleagues, and after that you will go ahead and sort of submit the Finnish immigration application through the Finnish Immigration Service. And the cost of it is 350 euros, which is equivalent, I guess, is 3,000 Hong Kong dollars. And once if it go through, then you will be sort of eligible for all, and you will make the procedures to move to Finland, and your company or your team will be eligible for all the funding and other services provided by the Finnish government. I just want to clarify this part that now we are talking about the startup permit, which is meant for for uh, for the team, for the company. So there, if you have a good idea of the company, how to start, what about the business which you want to start, this is exactly what we are talking about. So you can apply for yourself, but also for a team member of your company or the future company which you will establish. So this is the application process which we have in place so far. And I was told that this year we have granted something of 300 permits for this type of visas or permits for companies. We collaborate pretty much with different regions and cities. And here in Helsinki, in the capital area, the city of Helsinki have, and the Economic Development Agency have agreed that they will give more information about this startup permit. So I listed the email here for you to see, and also for general information, you are welcome to contact our colleagues in the startup permit at businessfinland.fi as well. Just to clarify what kind of startup teams we are looking for, of course we evaluate the application pretty much with sort of a focus of the investor, that the idea, the company has to be competitive, has a competitive advantage, and it has great potential. There are sufficient resources, and also the team and the company has to be established here in Finland. So meaning that the headquarter, IPRs and other team will be established in Finland. And most importantly also that here is also the passion of growth. We want to look for the teams and the companies that are eager to succeed and eager to grow, not only here in Finland but also outside of Finland. So this concludes my presentation. I just would like to thank for your attention, and I'm not sure if there's any questions or answers section in this part, but I would be happy to answer to you if they are for now.
Thank you so much, Min, for your keynote speech. I think unless anyone have urgent questions that would like to ask, I think we will have it to the next keynote speaker to deliver the speech. So next we will have Deng Ma, who is the liaison manager of the Regional Council of South Karelia in Finland. He has worked previously as the market analyst of FinPro, country promotion officer for the Consul General of Finland in Shanghai, as well as a project manager for Tencent during M&A of the Finnish gaming company Supercell. So we are very glad to have Dane to share about the work and then how we can remain and attract talents. May I now invite Deng Ma, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Consul General Johanna, Executive Director Alice. So, good afternoon to Hong Kong, and it would be nice to join you live, but I think we will wait for the better season to come. And now here actually at the moment in Helsinki, because as mentioned earlier, we are having the slush week here in Finland, having the global investors, startups to gather around, and from our side as well. So also from the Eastern Finland part. So my name is Ding Ma, and I'm working at the Regional Council of South Karelia. And South Karelia, it's actually located in Eastern Finland. So we like to think that Finland is a place where East and West meet each other, but actually when we focus down and we are talking about South Karelia as a region lying beside the EU and the Russian border. So it's located in the eastern part of Finland, and the distance to St. Petersburg in Russia and here to the capital of Finland, Helsinki, is actually the same. But today, I think I'm very excited to share with you that we are going to launch a new talent attraction program called 90 Days Live Like a Finn by Lake Saimaa. And that will be focused especially on our Japan market as well as our Hong Kong market. So that is something that we want to offer especially for you. And so let's start by why. Like, I want to start by telling my own story. I think I'm a product of East and West, because but still, like, how I end up to South Karelia, how I end up to live by the Lake Saimaa. So maybe that will be an inspiring story for you. But also after my story, I want to share some special characteristics of our region, but also coming back in the end to this program, what we have to offer and launching during this month. Myself, I moved to Finland when I was 4 years old. So my family immigrated from mainland China to Finland, and we lived in a city called Turku, actually the former capital of Finland. But from there, 6 years old, I was sent back to China for the boarding schools. 5 years after that, coming back to Finland, doing my education actually in Finland as well. So it has been back and forth for me, and luckily, I found job opportunities to be located in mainland China. So I was working for the FinPro, actually nowadays called Business Finland, where Ming is working at the moment. So I was located in the Beijing office, and after that I was transformed to the Consulate General of Finland in Shanghai, and responsible for the country branding, what we are doing from Finland to the Asian market. And from there, before coming back to Finland, I joined a company called Tencent, who actually acquired the Finnish gaming company Supercell. And so I have been living in Beijing, Shanghai, and at latest Shenzhen, where the Tencent headquarters is located. But after that, why to Finland? well, I mean, why back to Finland? Obvious, that's Finland is my home, but still, like, why to South Karelia? Why to the southeastern part of Finland? So the contrast is huge. On the other side, it's Shenzhen with I think 14 million of population, private sector IT company. On the other side, Lappeenranta, where is a capital city or one of the main city in our region here in South Karelia. We have 33,000 population and coming back to the public sector, working as a public servant. So why? And what happened during the latest years since 2017, I moved back to Finland? I want to tell you that actually what our CG and executive director talked about, the balance between life and work, it's actually something very special what we offer in Finland. So we work hard, we have our ambitions toward our work and goals, but still we know how to enjoy life. We know how to find the good balance between work and other hobbies and time with the families and living and so on. So I think that's also thanks to the social welfare system what we have in Finland. So we have a very great social network behind, which actually in many cases are offered to our immigrants or visitors as well. Yeah, so when I came back to Finland during these years, I have found myself in different hobbies, and lately during the last few years, also the JCI activities. I know that's a big thing also in Hong Kong, and we have had a great also opportunity to visit the JCI Asian conference in Hong Kong before, and also looking forward what is coming next year, the World Congress in Hong Kong. So different hobbies which can be combined in the region, and also the nature, the beautiful nature what we have there. When I'm talking about like living by the Lake Saimaa, that's actually true. So the city center of Lappeenranta is located by one of the most beautiful lake in the world, actually. That is, I think, a great reason for you to also think that during this pandemic time, during the digitalization, what we have been doing, well, thanks to the pandemic, right? What are your opportunities to work remotely from maybe the Lake Saimaa region, or the other options, as Ming also mentioned, that if you are passionate to have your own startup, to have your own business, what kind of ecosystem Finland and Northern Europe, also the EU can offer to you. But coming back to our region, what are some of the special characteristics? I think I want to raise 3 points. First of them is bioeconomy. The region has been known as one of the main clusters for the bioeconomy in Europe. And traditionally, we are talking about is concentrating on wood, pulp, and paper. But these days, actually, it's more about how we have the solution to replace plastic by bio-based, wood-based products and solutions, how we can produce recyclable or biogases, diesel fuels, and other fuel to replace the fossil fuels. So this is one of the main clusters which we are having in our region. The second one, we are talking about green electrification. So actually, it's about replacing the traditional drive system powered by the fossil fuels within new solutions using electrical motors, etc. And there has been a very strong concentrating both on the research side but also on the production side, within the machinery side in our region. And third is tourism, actually. And it's interesting to tell you that actually city of Imatra, which is located near the eastern border in our region, the Finnish tourism has started from the city. Within the beautiful rapids what they have, and the beautiful nature what they have, and the whole region is known for the beauty of Scandinavia, especially thanks to the Lake Saimaa, but also lately to the upcoming UNESCO Saimaa Geopark. Yeah, so that's about our region. And in the end, I want to conclude my short presentation within the reason why you should come to Finland. We are offering a very unique package, which includes that we are going to assist you in every aspect regarding your relocation here for 3 months. And why 90 days? Actually, the beauty here is that within the Hong Kong resident permit, you are allowed to apply the visa, or I would say a visa waiver program, which you have to come to the EU and come to Finland for 90 days. And I'm very sure that the Consulate General of Finland in Hong Kong is very helpful to support you if you have questions related to that. But in the program, we want to offer you that when you come here, you can feel like home. You can live the life within a very Finnish local cultural traditions, and also we will assist you in your business pursuits. So no matter if you are a remote worker, so you want to do your job remotely here in Finland, we will help you with settlements, and or if you are a researchers, we are having a very research-oriented and top-notch university called AUT LUT University here in our region, concentrating especially on the solutions regarding air, water, energy, and circular economy. And or if you want to start your new business, obviously our team, of our business team, both in the city but also in the regional side, will help you to be connected with the local business network. And as well, if you are an investor, the same, we will help you to find the promising startups both in Finland, but also we can enlarge the network to the Northern Europe or the EU to help you, assist you within your ideas. So I will end my presentation here, and I have a short video to show to you, and I hope that you will be interested in the near future to apply for this program. And I will also leave my contacts information during the chat, so you can contact me regarding this program as well in the near future. But allow me to share you the video. Hi, my name is Ding Ma, and I am your head of the campaign. First of all, we think that we are offering some unique opportunity, especially for you, to be relocated here by the Lake Saimaa in the eastern part of Finland for up to 90 days.
I think one reason, of course, is that it's beautiful, but I think maybe more important that there's a lot of fantastic job opportunities here. We have a huge shortage of talent. So if you come to Finland, I can guarantee you that you will find a fantastic job.
I think working culture in Finland is quite human, and especially here in South Karelia, you can combine the work, the family, and hobbies.
And working culture in general, it's very much about getting stuff done, not so much about endless meetings and all of that. So I think that it's a very nice working environment, and I think most people who come to Finland and relocate here, that is one thing that they really appreciate. That there's time for work and there's time for play.
Finnish society is the best in the world. The high education possibilities, public healthcare and other public services are very high quality and available for everyone.
Yeah, Finland is known for being the happiest nation on the planet, and I think many Finns ask that, why is that? But I think that you can understand it when you come to Finland from outside, and it actually starts with fantastic education. So there's always a good balance between school, between life, and the same is true when you start working, that there is a good balance between work and the rest of your life. And I think this is something that is really very, very important.
If you feel that you are a specialist in the clean tech area, if you feel that you want to jump out of your comfort zone and join us to not only to work hard, but also to enjoy your life and extending your network within the Nordic countries, then I think you are the right person we are searching for, and we want to see you at Lake Saimaa.
So thank you very much, and hope to see you here in Finland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dingmal. After watching the video and your presentation, I feel like I might consider moving into the Southeast Finland. Okay, yeah, thank you for sharing how the presentation of why Finland is a good place to live, to work, and to study, and how it's attracting the clean tech talents to stay there. So now we'll move to the panel discussion. We are very glad to have a very distinguished panel today. We'll have, may I now invite Verpi Ahola, computational biologist at Ming Wai Lau Center for Reparative Medicine and Biostatistician. Please come on stage. And then we have Dylan Kwok, creative head of Quad Dylan. And third, we have Sebastian Locke, co-founder of Chartopedia. And then we have Helios Lowe, senior consultant of Crossing's executive search. And then we are glad to have Inaki to be the moderator of today, who is the president of Finnish Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong. Welcome all the panelists and moderator on stage. And now I'll pass the time to you all. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And thank you all my panelists here today. It's a pleasure to have you here for such an interesting topic, and especially after the presentations we just saw. I think that there are lots of very interesting memories for some of you that have actually been experiencing Helsinki, Finland in your lives. So I'd like to maybe give the opportunity to each one of you to tell a little bit more about your personal experience. So maybe if I start with you, Elios, I mean, you are a consultant in recruiting who studied in Oulu, right? And is involved in tech talent. And, can you tell us a little bit about how was your experience in moving to Oulu? And it's probably very different now or not, but can you tell us a little bit about how it is now?
Okay, so hi everyone, this is Helios. I was born and raised here in Hong Kong, and I studied in Finland from 2008 to 2013. So I'm now working as a senior consultant in the technology recruitment industry, but I actually studied medieval European history and also early modern European history when I was in Oulu. So it's a big change for me stepping into the technology world, given that I used to be a historian in the past. I would say Hong Kong is like It's a very, very, very convenient city that we can live in. We have all the transportation here, comparing to Finland, that after 11 o'clock, that if you take the bus, you need to pay double of the fares. But here in Hong Kong, we don't have that kind of policies. When you are going out late, but then you can still get on the minibus, the metros, or maybe taxis that you can go back to your home. But I would say my experience in Finland is very, very valuable, because had I never been to Finland, I wouldn't have had the chance to sit here and share my experience with you. So that's pretty much about me, and I will pass it to Sebastian to share a bit more about.
Yes, go ahead, Sebastian. Tell us a little bit about your experience of setting up your businesses in Finland over the last 2 years, please.
Thanks a lot, and nice to meet every one of you here. It's true that I think, like in Hong Kong, we got one of the most convenient traveling network, but I still miss the time driving in Finland. It's like a super fun, experience. But for me, I'm Sebastian. Actually, I worked in the private banking field after my graduations for a few years. And then one day I just decided I should do something else. Maybe I should create my own business. That is the reason why I have founded Chartopedia with my business partners, 3 other business partners. So our business focus on data visualizations. So it's more about the ending part of the data processing process. So we are focusing more about how to present data in a more fun and insightful way, especially leveraging on the new technology and techniques about data visualization. So something like in the old ways, we will see like 2D kind of charts. Right now, when we leverage on coding, etc., we can make it like interactive. So it gives a much better user experience, I would say, when we look at the data. So this is what my company is about. I spent the last 2 years in Finland after joining one of the Finnish accelerator, and I really like the place there. Finnish is really an amazing startup place, I would say, because the startup community there is pretty open and friendly, and I met a lot of great individuals and also investors as well. So really thankful for having the chance to be in Finland for the last 2 years with the startup visa. Currently, my partner is still in Finland, having fun in the slush. Well, I'm so envious of him. But here I'm in Hong Kong like 2 weeks ago, trying to come back to this city and drive some sales. So that's my story.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then Dylan, I mean, you went to study to Finland and became an architect, and now moved back to Hong Kong.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us more about it?
Yes. It was a long time ago, actually. It was 2005, I went there, 2006. And I stayed there until 2012, almost 5 years. I studied there back then was an art university. Now it's Aalto University. They merged, 3 of them merged together. I was still in Helsinki back then, in this old factory of Arabia ceramics. It was beautiful. One of the best time I had in my life, I would say, those 5 years. The experience there was so different because I come from the design and art industry, where like in Hong Kong or like in Canada back then I studied there. We draw and we design not with our hands, but in Finland was the workshop there was amazing, and I got to really prototype and make things there. I think that 90 days of Finland, of being a Finn program, I saw some machines in the video, and I saw some workshop time over there too. I believe that would be an amazing experience too, because that's all I miss in Finland. And now, in fact, I have established a little prototyping workshop in Fanling, still north of Hong Kong, trying to replicate that experience in Hong Kong a little bit.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dylan. And then the last, Virpi. You are a researcher of Karolinska and studied at the University of Helsinki and moved about 3 years ago, right? If I remember right. So how has been your experience of moving to Hong Kong?
Thank you very much. So I bit more than 3 years ago, I made a big decision. I lived most of my life in Finland, studying in Finnish university, and then also worked in different Finnish universities or research institute, and I make decision to move out from Finland and to move to Hong Kong. And so probably the first thing what you notice when you come here is that the life is a little bit different. Everything is a little bit faster. People even walk very fast, and maybe people are a little bit more stressed also. But it's also that things also everything works very well in the society generally, or in everything gets done very fast and very easily. So that's maybe the biggest. And what I also miss in Finland is that more of this work and work-life balance, which maybe Hong Kong could learn a little bit. What was also in this video quite nicely shown.
So I moved to Finland. I'm originally from Spain, but I moved to Finland in the mid-90s. And I spent over 20 years living in Finland. And then it's only 6 years ago that I decided to move to Hong Kong. And I brought with me a few people from Finland to establish the business that we had here when I moved in. I think that at the time when I moved, Hong Kong was starting to wake up to the need of the type of talent that I brought in, mostly design, but mostly from more what we call service design and strategic design. What I didn't realize is that at the time I thought that it would be difficult to find talent. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be in the times that we are living today. And it's not just Hong Kong. It's actually because the circumstances we are living, that the whole world is actually in need of very specific type of talent. On the presentation today, we heard quite a lot about the need for people to specialize in everything that deals with green technologies. Here in Hong Kong, there is a big push to get people that are specialized in green finance. We know that Finland needs around 130,000 specialized talented people over the next 10 years. And Elias, you work specifically in this field, right? In trying to get talent for organizations. Yes. How deep is the problem, and how organizations are dealing with the current constraints that are given by the situation we are living with the quarantines and COVID?
Yep. So basically, I found that it is getting more and more difficult to find good talents, because due to the political issues here in Hong Kong, more people tend to move abroad. So lots of them move to England, some of them move to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and some other places in the world. So I would say this year I start to feel that it's really hard to find people, because every time when I reach out to the candidates on LinkedIn or some other channels, that mostly I will get the reply saying that, oh, I'm moving back to Canada next month, or I'm now in England, so could you give me some advice how to find a job in England, or maybe do you have any jobs in England? Usually I got that kind of reply. So to me, I think that lots of employers here in Hong Kong have been doing a lot to retain the talents, but it is more about their personal decision, whether they tend to live here or maybe they live for a better life. So this is something that recently I come across, not only in the IT industry, but basically from different industries here in Hong Kong too. Yep. Yeah.
Sebastian, I mean, you did the move. You moved 2 years ago. Most of the countries have certain requirements when you move in. If you want to start a new life in a new place, Finland does not require a university degree, for example, when you want to set up your own business. But with your experience, I mean, Finland is has a language that is extremely difficult to speak. I mean, if you haven't tried, I mean, I tried to learn it for over 20 years, and I can speak like a 4-year-old. But I think that how easy is to manage in English, and how was your experience overall in moving there? And it's something that you would encourage others to follow.
Yes, I mean, like even spending 2 years there, actually I only know how to say like thank you, kiitos, and also moi. So, yes, definitely. I think my first months when I went to Finland, when I met some local friends there, they already told me if you are not going to spend here for like 8 years, don't bother to learn about Finnish because it's so difficult. But I found that actually, maybe with a very good education system in Finland, the English literacy level in Finland is actually really good, especially in the tech side. It's like no problem for me to communicate with people there. So that is the reason why during my time there, when I meet with different peoples, it's just it's a very easy communication, I would say. So, and also it also, because of this kind of foundations, that's the reason why we can easily find different people to collaborate on different projects, and also go out and meet some of the partners there in Finland. So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. Dylan, I mean, you spend also some time teaching, right? And what do you tell your students? And do you see an interest in your students to explore opportunities outside? And what has changed over the last years in the attitude of the students?
I was teaching in Finland a little bit. It was in English too. It was strange to teach in English to Finnish students back then, but it was very good because all of a sudden you give them a chance to practice the language as well in our professional field. Ever since I came back, I've been teaching also here in PolyU in Macau, and also in Hong Kong U recently. One of the questions I got the most is from the students. Hey, you study in Finland. Hey, I want to study in Finland. How can I go there? And I told them like, hey, it's very easy. Just go to online, go to the page, apply, and there you go. And honestly, I push my students to go abroad, especially not to Anglo-Saxon area, but to somewhere different. Then they can really open up their eyes and see different kind of culture. I think that cultural impact is very important for their life, for their growth. I guess most of the time when students come up to me and ask about studying abroad, I would definitely push them to somewhere different. And I guess this 90 days thing would be something I'll tell them. It's easy. They won't have to dig in, or they won't have to risk so much of their time. If it's not right, then it's always that exit plan kind of thing. Yeah.
Allow me to add something, because I think I really agree with what you say, because for me, I think one of the things that I get the most from the 2 years experience is really about being in a whole new culture. I mean, it's so different than in UK, etc. Just like what you mentioned. So it's good to really meet to those kind of people firsthand and learn about how they view about lives, the work-life balance, and also even though sometimes when I meet with those of the talents, it seems like they're operating in a different kind of mindset, or kind of a mental loop that gave me kind of a new perspective on viewing a business problem, etc. So during the last 2 years, I think definitely I will encourage my fellow entrepreneurs to really try to go out, be in a new environment. Yes, you're gonna face a lot of difficulties, but at the same time, you're gonna be rewarded a lot. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Birpi. You work for research centers, and you've been actually moving in across the world in different research centers. What are the lessons from a community that traditionally has been actually very movable, right? They've been always the scientists moving from one side to another side, and researchers moving from around the world. What are the learnings that you think other communities, other professions should follow from the scientific and research community?
You mean in generally?
Yeah, in general, I don't know. Are they more flexible? Do they have like a well-established protocols? Is there what is that? How was your experience, and what would you take from there that you would probably recommend other industries to take into consideration?
Well, in research, actually, when usually you have to go somewhere. That's the basic thing. If you do after your PhD, you have to leave. You have to do a postdoc somewhere else. And of course, it depends then where you go or what university it is or research institute that how well students or researchers are taking care. But I think often if people want to go, for example, Europe, they probably don't think about Finland. Maybe so much. It's a small country, weird language, and so on. But it's also a benefit because, in a way, because if you come from Hong Kong, the English of the Hong Kong people are very perfect. It's actually better than those in Finnish people, and the language is always in the research communities. As well as in the companies, it's always English. So it's actually better to be Hong Kong in language wise because the language is probably better. Because in Finnish education, the teaching in the schools is in Finnish. It's only in the university maybe when you start to have to speak English. I'm not sure I answered your question.
It's good. It's fine. No, don't worry. Don't worry. It's perfectly fine. Yes. I think we are entering a situation that, I mean, it has the feeling that we are entering a situation where we are close to what it could be called a talent war between countries, organizations. What do you recommend, or what do you think will make an organization successful if they want to achieve their objectives in attracting talent, or as a matter of fact, a country? I mean, what kind of initiatives, what kind of policies, what kind of actions today you need to put in place if you want to attract talent? Sure.
Well, one thing what I've noticed in the research communities, or like a problem in Finland, is that it's difficult to find the job for the spouse or wife or the husband. And that would be one thing that the companies or the societies, they should think about the families as such, not like that one talent, but the whole family. That would be maybe one issue, how you attract, because you usually you attract people who are quite young. They are in the age when they maybe have the family or they're just building the family.
Very good. Anyone else?
I remember back in when I was studying, there were research fellows who came in with the family in Finland. I mean, like from Korea. He was from South Korea. He came to the school with the 2 kids and the wife. And sometimes we play around with the kids as if it's they were born there, but then actually they move all the way from South Korea to Finland for study and for the research, and that's working very very well in Finland. I don't see so often in Hong Kong that this would happen. The other thing I want to add to this so-called talent wall, I wouldn't put it as a wall, because I guess
competition maybe more than a war,
maybe,
right?
Hey?
Or is too dramatic?
Maybe competition. I guess back before COVID, there wasn't such a thing because mobility was so easy. You can always start up in Finland and still do your business somewhere else, and then go back and forth all the time. I think COVID makes it so difficult that I also want to do such a thing. I haven't been flying for 2 years because I don't want to be quarantined somehow. But then there's a need for that. For example, like in design and art industries, well, going to furniture fairs is very simple, very needed. In fact, it's a must. But I haven't been there for 2 years, and I don't know if this kind of situation will last. If it doesn't last as long, I don't know. Maybe it lasts 2 or 3 more years. But if it doesn't last, it will last for 3 or 4 more years. Somehow we need to find a way, like these kind of short packages, that you go there, quarantine for 14 days, and stay for a bit longer, so that you can do a bit more things at one go. I guess Sebastian is actually doing this. Is that right? Like with your company, because you fly there, your partner is actually over there.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right in a way. I wouldn't say like, maybe for the last few years, maybe we are currently in a digital era. So actually, it feels to me like the talent competition. Actually, I don't really feel that intense, to be honest, because like for our startup, actually we have 2 bases, one in Finland and in Hong Kong. For instance, I think a few months ago we tried to hire some of the developers in Finland. We are able to meet a lot, but it's really true that right now it's kind of hard to find the talents, because you talk to them, it seems like there are so many other companies pitching to them as well. So they might not choose you in the end. That is the reason why I think in the digital era, the good thing is, okay, if I cannot find talents in Finland, I just post job aids in Hong Kong or even Taiwan or India, etc. So in fact, in the end, we actually hired 2 people in Hong Kong to be part of the job. So even though we got like our CTO, our developer, developing hubs in Finland, but still we got something like a developers in Hong Kong as well. And managing them is actually not really a problem. It's not that difficult.
Following the example you just gave, do you feel that because, it looks like almost the demand and supply has reverted, so that, now the power is on the supply and they can basically pick up the company, the people can pick up the company they want to go for. Does it mean that in the end you might have to compromise the level of quality of the people you wanted to bring in?
That's a good question. I think, to me, I don't think the problem is that serious right now, at least not in our case yet. And I hope it will not go to that way. Because I still feel like, just like what I mentioned, maybe the supply in certain areas is tight, but still you can reach out to so many places in the world. So that is the reason why I feel like in the short term, we will not going to see these kind of issues. And also, I think a great thing about Finland is actually it's close to a lot of great developer hub as well. So I think I mentioned to you in my email is that actually quite some time ago, when we look for some of the developing team helping us to do something about IT, we want to outsource it. We actually find a team in Poland.
Yeah.
So right now, I think these days we will not simply just being fixated on a single location.
The other field that it looks like is definitely on fire at the moment is the environmental and sustainability domain, right? Every day there are announcements for recruitment in that sector, and it looks like it's extremely hard to find people all over anyway. Is that something that you feel that the academic world is catching up with that? Are they producing enough experts in that domain from what you see? Yeah.
I think it's getting harder and harder to find the sustainability people here in Hong Kong, because I used to work in an in-house environment with a sourcing company. When we are looking for the sustainability people, that we can only relocate them to Hong Kong, or we find someone who has studied abroad that has the relevant experience. So I would say the field is rather niche at the moment. But if Hong Kong could provide more relevant programs in a university, for example, then it should be better in that way.
I think it also depends a little bit how you advertise, where you advertise, how you networking, how do you look like outside. So do you want to find someone who is really focused? So maybe it's less chance, or you want to find something, or you advertise so that it's more broader. Then you can maybe choose. But well, generally in research is quite simple how to get people. If you're very good, you publish in a very good journals.
Yeah.
There's usually no problem because people want to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
The videos that we got to see before, they were underlining the work private life balance that you can basically get in Finland, right? I came across a movement that started a few months ago around COVID called the Big Resign, and they are basically what it is a significant group of people that they have decided that they had enough of the traditional boring life, and they have decided that over the next year they're gonna all resign. I came across a company that had done a survey in Australia, and about 50% of the employees subscribed to this move. So I think it should probably not be underestimated when you start seeing so many people that are starting to, and I think it's probably because COVID, that people are starting to reconsider a lot what are the most important things in life. Do you see something like this in your experiences in the markets that you operate in Finland and in Hong Kong? Do you see that employees are starting to be a lot more conscious about what matters to them the most and being more demanding with their employers, or even thinking about, what new careers, new entrepreneurship careers they want to chase in order to be more in control of their life? Have you come across something like this?
Yes, actually, whenever you reach out to IT talents, if they're living in the northwest part of Hong Kong, then you give them a job, say, hey, the perfect location is in, for example, in Science Park or maybe Cyberport, then they will come back to you and say, hey, sorry, it's too far for me. So I guess it's not only about the COVID time that we have the lockdown last year. It's just that they start to feel that, work-life balance is very important. This is why I would rather choose a job close to my place, which pays less, rather than going to a bigger brand, which I need to take maybe 2 or maybe 3 hours for commuting every day. So it is not only about the post-COVID era, but then it's just like they have that kind of thinking. So they also have that kind of requests or maybe demand in terms of the locations or working hours, so on and so forth.
I agree so much with that opinion, because that's why I make my company in more like to the Finland, because my employees are pretty much living nearby. I want to move close to them instead of like asking them to come over to save time, but also give them flexibility in a way too. So then they can choose to come in a bit later or a bit earlier sometimes, or stay a bit later, because they are always closer to home.
Very good. I think we have only a little bit time left, so why don't we open the floor for questions, and we can capture questions online as well. So I have in front of me also the possibility for the participants online to post their questions. But please, if anyone here on the audience has any questions, we are more than happy to take your questions. If not, then I will start reading. But let's start with this. Anyone? Yeah? Yes.
Please.
Can you say just one sentence about you, who you are, and what? Yep. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Sari Suonarasan. I'm the Chief People and Culture Officer for ISS Facility Services here in Hong Kong. So we have 15,000 employees, globally about 450,000. So it's interesting and thank you for all the panelists and all the keynote speakers over here, because it's really interesting to be here tonight to listen to you. And at the same time, you're talking about the flexibility. And I'll give you an example and then my question. So we're running a big IT project at the moment, and we're of course looking for the talent as everybody else. So wanting to hire the best ones to drive the project. And I had also one person who wanted to move to UK. So we wanted to find the flexibility so that actually, because our headquarters is in Denmark, so that he can work from UK, even working with the Hong Kong team, being paid by the Hong Kong team, and doing so that we have the results over here. And I think that that also encouraged him because he's more motivated at the moment. He's really focused on the work, and at the same time, when he was starting his new life in a new country, so he had the possibility of having a job already and not looking for a job when he went there. So my question is for you, so what kind of, can you see, because we're talking about Hong Kong and traveling over here and everything, so how can you see that the companies over here are able to and willing to create the flexibility, working hours, traveling, everything for the employees if you want to hire the top talent?
I don't have an answer for that because for our company, actually, basically, we I think since COVID, we are not renting any office space at the moment. So we actually just do everything online, and it works really well. So yeah, I'm not sure if other panelists have the answer for that.
One of my old colleagues recently moved to UK just because she has been working so hard and she performed so well that my boss also gave the options for her that once she landed in UK, then she can make good use of her time that working in UK but supporting a Hong Kong team. But for her, it is a very difficult situation that she needs to give up her job, that she needs to focus on her personal matters. So it is good that our company gave her that kind of options, but even if we give her that option, it is her call whether she takes it or not. So, but I would say it is always good that the company is willing to retain the talents and then give them some other solutions that they can work on more flexible way.
Very good, thanks. I think we had another question here.
Yeah,
and then
thank you. I'm Kamrul Hassan. I'm from Bangladesh Consulates. So I was just wondering, among all the information given by you, that where is the place of environment, sustainability, but I have got this answer already. But my question is that in the research sector, what is the prospect of social research in Finland? It is very clear that there are a lot of bright future in case of technical research and as well as scientific research. But what about the social study and social research in Finland? Thank you.
Oh, I have to say I'm not so familiar. I'm familiar with that. I'm more from science.
Maybe. Yes, Johanna.
That is also there. There's it's not only an emphasis in technology research, but there is, of course, universities that will focus on social studies, human rights. There are some really top schools. For example, Bioeconomy is one of the top universities on human rights. And of course, you heard here what Dylan is from the design side. So there are different fields and different expertise, and I can definitely provide you with more information about the social spheres, and of course on innovation, which we always talk about when you talk about Finland. You think about technology innovations, but there's also a lot of innovations that are more on the social side, and many of these are, for example, in healthcare or in the social field, for example, dealing with the youth. And there's even a book about them, 100 social innovations from Finland. So innovation does not only happen in technology, but also happens in the social field. And I think there is a lot of research that goes into this in Finland too. Thank you.
Johanna, since I have you already with the microphone, I'm going to ask you probably the last question that's coming from online. There are a few, but I mean, I don't think we have too much time. So the question is, Hong Kong has established the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme to attract potential entrants. Is there something similar in Finland? Is there something like a scheme for attracting a specialized workforce in Finland?
Yes, indeed there is. The Talent Boost program of Business Finland that Ming Lan spoke in the beginning is exactly this. It's a special program to attract specialized talent, and there are different platforms. One of them is to attract entrepreneurs and startups, such as Sebastian and his colleagues. So that's one. But then there's also specialist needs in different areas, and the jobs from Finland is one of the platforms used for this. And they might be in marine tech in the Turku region, in energy in the Vaasa region. So there's kind of regional clusters of different technologies. Also nursing. And we actually have a lot of nurses from Hong Kong going to Finland currently.
Yeah.
So there are different fields in where talent is needed and programs to attract it. And even companies working in Hong Kong, for example, to attract those specific talents to Finland.
Thank
so
you
there
very
is
much.
a bit of a
No, it's
competition
perfect.
in this area
Perfect,
going
definitely,
around
perfect.
in the world.
Yes. So look, with that, I think we are in Finnish punctual time, almost like 7:30. So we managed to basically catch up and finish in time. I want to thank you, all of you, for being here with us today. I think it was extremely interesting to hear your personal stories and how you see the perspectives around talent in the world. Thank you very much to our audience physically here today and our audience also online. And on behalf of the Finnish consulate here in Finland, Hong Kong, and the Finnish Chamber of Commerce, thank you very much to the organizers and to everybody here. Thank you very much again.